How amazing it is to live in this modern era and stand witness to so many technological advances. Air and soil sensors can now provide real-time data of growing conditions, and programmable tractors can cultivate and harvest the field all on their own. Advances in biotechnology have led to the genetic modification of plants and animals, making them more resistant to pests and increasing growth rates, helping the American farmer rise to meet an ever-increasing demand. However, there are two sides to every coin. This technology also allows for the modification of viruses. Viruses can now be genetically engineered to be more efficient and deadly, with the abilities to infect a broader range of organisms at a faster pace and with higher mortality rates. These viruses are so dangerous that President Nixon banned their use as a bioweapon over 50 years ago, back in 1969, which can be read in the public papers of the president. While the United States isn't using these viruses, we are not out of harm's way from them being used against us. If one such virus was to be released into the U.S. agricultural system, the results would be catastrophic. This threat is categorized as agroterrorism. The term agroterrorism is defined in a 2007 Congressional Research Service report for Congress on agroterrorism as the deliberate introduction of an animal or plant disease with the goal of generating fear, causing economic losses, and/or undermining social stability. Prior to today, I would believe it's safe to assume that most of you probably haven't previously thought about what would happen if there were to be an attack on the agricultural system here in the United States. Today, I would like to convince you of the significance and utter importance of protecting that system. Despite what one might think, agriculture here in the U.S. is a very intricate and delicate system. It's not merely farmers and ranchers out in their fields with their cows and plows. In one way or another, agriculture contributes to every aspect of society, from food and clothing to building materials and medicine. An attack on that system would have rippling effects that would be felt at the very core of this nation. And what's scariest of all is just how simple it would be. As I said before, with today's modern technology, viruses can be constructed to have ultimately devastating effects. All it would take is someone casually walking along to slip a viral agent out of their pocket and into a water trough at a stockyard, or for someone to pull off over on the side of the road next to a cornfield and open a tube containing genetically altered insects that spread pathogens to crops, as depicted by Carlton Giles in the April 2010 Canadian Veterinary Journal. To help you visualize these widespread effects, I would like for us to take a look at the 2001 foot and mouth outbreak in the United Kingdom. Now, it's important to note that this was not an intentional outbreak and therefore not an agro-terrorist attack. For those of you who don't know, foot and mouth is a highly contagious zoonotic disease. Zoonotic meaning that it can be spread between different animal species. As described in a 2016 BBC News article by Claire Bates, in February of 2001, the disease was initially discovered in a small slaughterhouse in Essex. However, by the time samples had been taken and tested, it was too late and the disease had already spread eventually throughout the entirety of the United Kingdom. In their best efforts to slow and stop the outbreak, the transportation of livestock was frozen by the government. This meant that farmers could no longer get their livestock to auctions, and in turn, stores could no longer buy meat, and the meat shelves at the stores were empty. Farmers were also stuck housing livestock that they hadn't initially planned on caring for, and in many cases didn't have enough feed to continue to sustain. Meat had to be imported from other countries and sold at increasingly high prices. Other countries banned the import of meat and livestock from the UK, and travel restrictions were also put on people. By the end of the 9-month outbreak, over 6 million cattle, sheep, and pigs had been culled or mandatorily slaughtered. That's enough to feed 1/3 of the entire world population. Due to the mass amount of carcasses, the British Army had to be called in to dig massive graves and build giant pyres where the carcasses could be burned and disposed of. It was said that the economy lost over $4 billion US, though some experts believe that number to be more than 5 times that amount. Remember, though, as I said, that this wasn't an intentional outbreak. As horrid as it was, imagine if the disease had been enhanced to spread faster, be more deadly, and was released at multiple strategic locations all at once. It would be much, much worse. COVID-19 is a prime example representing the spread of disease and its impacts that we all have experience with and can relate to. During COVID-19, we've seen multiple food scares. However, it's important to note that this was not due to a lack of food, but rather delayed processing systems and restocking of inventory. Imagine, though, if we didn't have to wait the mere hours, days, or even weeks for delivery trucks to arrive at stores for our food to be processed, or for closing hours to come so employees could restock the shelves, but for the months and the years it takes for herds to be reestablished and sections of land thoroughly purged of disease, as quantified by Dean Olson in a 2012 article in the FBI Law Enforcement Bulletin Journal on Agroterrorism. To my fellow Aggies and anyone else who may be listening in today, I am not here to spread panic in a world already overflowing with fear and uncertainty. I am here, however, to hopefully bring you to the realization of just how important and critical it is to protect our agricultural system, and that we need to do everything in our power to ensure its safety and stability. As individuals, we need to look out for each other and our communities. If you see something suspicious, call someone, ask them about it. If you see something, say something. Help bring awareness to others. As you vote and fill out ballots, pay attention to and support the policies meant to protect our agricultural system. Everyone eats food, everyone wears clothes, everyone needs medicine. Utah State itself was founded in agriculture. Let us do our best to protect it.